You know what I mean? So let me ask you this, all right, like that. So you have Jules or, or Mateo comes, to me and stuff like that. And, now that I thinking about this, I don't really know what to really say. When do you let your child, hang it up or quit? I really can't think of a better word to word to say it, because I don't want to say quit, but like okay, like you don't need to do this no more. Let's go ahead and try something else. When do you let them do that?
Well, I think that you let them do it when you understand what the reason they don't want to do it is. Mm-hmm. Because you're right. If it's just too hard, mm-hmm. you can't quit because it's just too hard.
Yeah,
you can't quit because it's just too hard. It's one thing for it to be too hard. It's another thing to just not like it. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I could go play basketball, just don't like to. Right? Now, I like to play basketball well enough to beat the shit out of Jason Langolier if he ever comes through.
Yeah, he's too scared though. He can't do it.
No, he's not coming. He's scared. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But when it's just like, I'm not scoring. I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, because I'm not scoring. I can't. The kids won't let me score. Mm-hmm. That's not a reason.
That's not a good reason.
That's not a reason to quit. That's a confidence reason to quit.
Yeah.
If it's just like, this is boring. I just don't like it. Then that's different. But it has to really be that they don't like it.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It has to really be that they don't like it. Mm-hmm. Like, we went to, we took Jewel to the Galleria. She had ice skating lessons, Galleria.
Yeah.
Bro, she would put on the ice skates and scream bloody murder. And we took her for like 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get her on the ice. She would just yell.
Did she fall or something?
Bro, you couldn't get her on the ice. She just put the skates on.
Did she wanted to do it? She wanted to do it?
No, we just put her in ice skating.
Oh,
she was a two. Right, so she was scream. So it's like, man, what is that? So we kept trying. We're like, she'll get better. She'll get used to it. So then we took her, and the last time that we put her in ice skate, the last lesson, because Ellie and I both ice skate. So we went and we're like, well, let's take her ice skating. Mm-hmm. So maybe she'll get on the ice with mommy and daddy, and then she'll chill. Bro, couldn't get her on the ice.
Yeah.
She screamed. Okay, it's fine. So we're like, you know what? Stop. So a couple of weeks ago, Ellie wanted to take her to Disney Princesses on Ice. Mm-hmm. We went. She said, I want to go ice skating.
That's what it took?
Right. This was 2 years later, but she was like, I want to go ice skating.
Moana on the fucking ice.
Right. But you know what? Because sometimes they just need, like, they need something to do. They need some, and that's what, and that's when, like we talked about before, it's good if they see that. Let's see if she likes it when mom and daddy do it. Let's see if she goes and works out with mom and daddy. Let's see her do jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai with mom and daddy. And then, okay, this is just what we do, and that's fine. But to just, because, Ellie thought it was because she did like, and I was like, no, we're not just going to let her quit.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, she's just going to, even if it's just regular adversity, she's going to have to push through it.
Yeah.
Like, she'll have to push through the adversity. Mm-hmm. And then, so we took her out of swimming because I didn't like her coach.
Okay.
Because her coach.
Want to give them a shout out?
Bro, I don't remember what his name was, to be honest. But it was weird what he did, because the first thing they did was they just threw the kids in the pool, right? Well, that would immediately freak Jewel out because her head was underwater, and then she was a nightmare for the rest of the lesson.
Yeah.
But if you gradually let her get into the lesson, she would do everything, and then eventually put her head under the water on her own. But he was like, "No, we're just going to do it like this," and it's like, no, you got to meet the kid where they are, bro.
I have times all the time like that, where like I'll have about 10, 12 freaking kids on the mat, and then I'll have like 2 new kids that are signed up, and there's first class. Right. And it's very overwhelming sometimes. I'm sure you see it all the time in the morning at Pablo's. For sure. Like that, as soon as like all these 10 kids, they've been here for a while, they know the routine. We bow in, they start to run laps to warm up and stuff like that. And you know, you get some of those kids that are super excited, they jump in and they just start doing everything or mimicking everything the other kids that know what they're doing. But then you got those other kids that like they're a little bit more timid. This is too much, it's overwhelming. Their freaking sensories are freaking going crazy.
Right.
Like that. They're starting to cry. Then they go to their parents and stuff like that. And I don't push those kids, you know what I mean, at all. What I simply do is I'll start to separate them, all right, and I let them hang out with their parents, you know what I mean, like that. And then I'll just simply tell them, hey, whenever you're ready, like that, because they'll probably have a brother or sister that's already like, you know, getting, hey, just come in and I'll let you work with your brother or your sister.
Right.
Or I'll have another student their size if they're just by themselves and be like, hey, you know, here's, you know, such and such like that. They're going to be your partner like that. They want to train with you. Right. I'll let them warm up to the idea. Right. Like that. I'm not going to just dump them into the pool. Right. Like that, right. You know, freaking sink or swim. Right. You know, then if that doesn't work, you know, if they don't lighten up to the idea like that, then I will try to work with them, or I'll pull out a dummy and they, you know, like that, you know, and then I'll try to get the parent involved, you know, like that, you know, and I'll show the parent, and I've had like that where they'll warm up to that, you know. Right. And then, you know, and so, more likely that always works, you know what I mean? Right. Like that. I'll probably pull out a dummy, let them, you know, play on the dummy, or even get their parents to come in here to show them, you know, because they still are standoffish with me. Right. You know, so you know, the parent would show them and then they'll do it, and I'll let them just warm up to that, and maybe a couple of classes like that, you know, but it's a very rare chance that no, I don't want to do none of this shit, you know, and then freaking, and like I've probably had a couple, like, you know, less than 5, where they're just too overwhelmed, they don't even want to step on, and the parents like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. I'm like, it's all right, you know. They're like, yeah, we'll you know, we'll come and you know, probably try again, like that, you know. Right. But like that, but you know, as an instructor, you're gonna have to meet those kids where they're at, you know, like that, to really just slowly start to build up the confidence, like that. And some can get it a lot faster than others, you know, but then some you're gonna really have to work at it, and it really tests you as an instructor to really elicit the result that you really want. But as long as the kid knows that, you know what, you know, I'm just not going to let you not do it. You know what I mean? Right. We're going to have to try it. You know, your parents, you know, I don't want to put it on the parents, like their parents brought you here and they're paying money and stuff like that. Right. You know, but they need to understand, like, hey, you know, like, and so like, I like what you said about, you know, when you let your child, you know, when do you let your child, you know, call it quits and, you know, like move on to the next thing. You know, like that. And I didn't even think about that, you know, at all, you know, until you actually started saying it. But yeah, I feel like, you know, in the beginning, expectations need to be set, right? You know, like that, you know, because more likely, I don't think I'm ever gonna really push anything on to Mateo. You know, I'm gonna give him options. You know, more likely just the options that I really want him to do. You know, I'm like, I'm like, here's golf, here's baseball, here's jiu-jitsu. Right. You know I mean, like that. Here you go. You know, like, which one do you want to do? Oh, I want this one. You know, like that. And we're gonna have expectations out of it, like that. You know, what are your, you know, like, I'm, you know, in kids' terms, like, okay, well, like, you know, what do you want to do? You know, and every week it's just those checklist, or like every day. You know, I think that's a very important thing. Every day, what parents should, you know, do is those drop-in checks, like, how was class today? Right. You know what I mean? What you learn, you know, like that. You know, but I think a lot of times, you know, those conversations go terribly wrong, you know, freaking in the car, on the way home, or even to class and stuff like that. And there's a soundbite, you know, that I heard on, you know, and I don't know how true these statistics are, like that. It was A-Rod, you know, was talking about this. And freaking, he was talking about how 95% of kids on the way home after practice, all right, the parents let their kids quit whatever sport they're doing. That's a big freaking percentage.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
Like that. I don't know how true that statistic is, but, you know, freaking, in an interview, he was talking about that, you know, because those conversations are so important, you know, what conversations are you having like that? Like, you know, on the way back home, from ice skating, like that, did you drop Jewel off a lot of times? No, Ellie did, like that. You know, what were those? How did those conversations look on the way back home? Right. You know, like that. Are you just saying, hey, do you want to do this? Oh no, okay, then what's the? Or are you like, hey, what did you learn today? Right. You know, how was it? What was the best part of today's lesson? I know you were scared and you didn't really want to do it, but hey, you know, did you, you got your ice skates on like that, whatever it is.
We did this part today. That's a start.
Yeah. You did great. You got here, and I know you didn't really want to get on the ice, but hey, we made it there. Next, and then that's where you set those expectations. Tomorrow we're gonna go back again, and
maybe next time we get on.
Yeah, maybe we get on for a minute.
Right.
Like kind of set those expectations, not just as a parent. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you freaking, hey, you keep on losing all the matches, and I'm already paying freaking X amount of dollars like that. Like, we need to find something and I feel like more likely those are the conversations a lot of times.
You know, that the thing is that so we put a price on what is priceless because everybody keeps going, I'm wasting my money for you to do this. But it's not wasting your money. It's building the child's confidence in something, and it's building the child's confidence in adversity. Yeah. Because there is no one who lives their life free of adversity. No, that's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something. Yeah. Bro, I had a dude that kept flipping me off on the way back from Pablo's today. Yeah. Yeah, like I was just I'm
testing your road,
bro. I'm driving down the street, and this dude is in this fucking 6 Series BMW, speeds up, and then I'm like, all right, and then I'm just driving normal, right? Yeah. Not paying attention, and then he swerves and cuts in front of me, and he flips me off, and he drives off, and I was like, okay, and then he slows down and waits for me to catch up to him, and then he does some other stupid shit and flips me off again, and I'm like, I'm thinking he's trying to get me to race him, right? Yeah. But bro, I'm not. Why? Yeah. But B, what's wrong with you? Like, what? It's Sunday afternoon.
It's a sunny day.
Chilling.
I'm cruising.
Yeah. What is your problem? But it's always. But once you learn how to deal with different levels of adversity, which starts when you're little, I think
it's a very important thing for a child.
You get all the way through. So like jiu-jitsu is different. Jiu-jitsu is a combat sport, and you've known Jewel for a while. Jewel had a rough time, listening. Like, she's very independent. She wants to do whatever she wants to do. So I was like, well, I don't want to put her in a class where she's just going to be disruptive. Yeah. But now she's doing tumbling and she's doing dance, so she's listening. So now I'm gearing her to get ready to go start jiu-jitsu. And so we'll be watching matches and watching flow, and I'll be like, you ready to go do jiu-jitsu with daddy? And for the first time, she said yes.
Yes, I heard. Yeah.
For the first time, she said yes. So I'm like, okay, now I'm going to put you on the mat. But it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be, hey, this is just what we do. Yeah. It's not. We don't. This is just what we do. We go do jiu-jitsu and whatever.
Yeah, I can't wait for those days for sure. You know what I mean, like that.
You already got Mateo on the mat in a gi.
Yeah. Stop. He's social. He loves, like that. Like, I can't wait for him to actually understand what he's doing. Right. Like that, freaking for sure. Like at 4 years old, yeah, working on, everything. But yeah.